Greatest show on earth.
It's time to play America's favorite game show, What's My Connection? Here's how it works. I'm going to present to you 3 famous individuals. All you need to do is tell me what's the connection between them. Stay tuned at the end when I announce a fabulous grand prize. Is everybody ready?
Yeah!
Our first person is John Ringling. After his 3 brothers passed away, John Ringling took control of the Ringling Brothers Circus, and he built it up from a smaller circus to what was called, and still to this very day is called, the greatest show on earth. The Ringling Circus toured the country in a 100-car circus train said to be a mile long. It took 1,200 crew to put this great show on, and the big top seated 1,000 people per performance. Profits from the circus enabled John Ringling to invest in Western Oil, real estate, as well as 30 other enterprises. It's no surprise that John Ringling became one of the richest men in the world. He built a 30-room waterfront mansion for himself and his wife, inspired by Venetian palaces. He started collecting rare Baroque and Renaissance art and amassed a huge, priceless Old Masters collection. He traveled across America in his own private rail car, lavishly furnished, while sipping on his own private label whiskey. In short, he could have been called the Circus King of America. The next person is Mark Twain, considered by some to be the father of American literature. Now, I don't need to go into great detail about Mark Twain's life. You probably know something of it already. But suffice it to say that The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is considered the first great American novel and still required reading in many high schools 125 years after it was written. Mark Twain amassed a huge fortune through his writings and lectures. In 1880, it is said that he had an estimated net worth of about $7.5 million. Mark Twain, too, was a rich and successful individual. The third person is our own Jack London. I say our own because Jack London was born right near 3rd and Brannan in San Francisco and grew up in the Lake Merritt section of Oakland. It's said that he was encouraged to become a writer from meeting a librarian at the Oakland Public Library. And who here hasn't heard of Jack London Square? Jack London was one of the first 20th century writers to obtain worldwide celebrity. His works include 21 novels, 3 plays, and countless short stories. Jack London said he had a real lust for life. He said he'd rather enjoy living than writing. He also amassed a huge fortune. In 1905, he purchased a 1,000-acre ranch in Glen Ellen, California, and proceeded to build a 15,000 square foot mansion just for himself and his wife at an estimated cost of $1.9 million in today's standards. So, my fellow Toastmasters, I ask you, what's the connection between these 3 individuals? John Ringling, Mark Twain, and Jack London. And it's not money or fame. And now, take what you think is the connection and put it in your back pocket, because here's the rest of the story. In 1927, John Ringling was on top of the world. In 1929, his beloved wife of 30 years passed away, and he remarried into what became a miserably unhappy marriage. In 1929, the Great Depression also came, and he lost almost his entire fortune. In 1932, he was voted out of the control, actually ousted from the very circus that he spent his entire life building up. And in 1936, John Ringling the Bill Gates of his time, passed away with, it is reported, $311 in his bank account. Mark Twain spent a good deal of his life bouncing from one failed business venture to another, one failed get-rich scheme to another. In 1885, he invested almost his entire fortune, estimated $7 million in a failed printing invention, and was forced to declare bankruptcy. He was so broke that he had to transfer the copyrights of his great works to his wife to avoid creditors from taking them. He was forced to go on a worldwide speaking tour just to make ends meet. Mark Twain, America's great humorist, paradoxically wound up in a deep depression for the rest of his life. Concerning Jack London, I'll never forget my trip to the Jack London State Historic Park in Glen Ellen, California. Now a national landmark, his dream house is only remaining, all that remains of his dream house is a burned out foundation and a plaque telling that story. You see, 2 weeks before London and his wife planned to move in, his dream house burned to the ground. Jack London never got over this for the remainder of his life. He suffered from multiple diseases and advanced alcoholism when he died at age 40. I hope, my fellow Toastmasters, from hearing these three stories that you got your personal connection from this. How important it is for you to appreciate your life and not take it for granted. No matter how great the present may be, you never know what the future can bring. There's an old saying, today is the beginning of the rest of your life. I ask you, my fellow Toastmasters, to appreciate each and every day, starting today, as a personal gift to you. And you too can take the grand prize to have your life become the greatest show on earth.